Hello my dear friends, welcome to my channel Senan Academy. In this video I will be discussing about the difference of electrical and mechanical angle, and we will also develop a relationship between electrical and mechanical angle. Okay, so let's move on and understand the concept of electrical and mechanical angle. So in order to understand this concept, we will take a very elementary two-pole machine, but we take the poles or the field winding on stator and the armature winding on rotor in order to understand the concept conveniently. Okay. One assumption that we are going to take in this video lecture is that the flux lines we take in this case as parallel. Actually, the field lines are radial, but to understand the concept very clearly and conveniently, we take an assumption that the field lines are parallel. Okay, so let's start this to understand the concept. This is the two pole, north pole and south pole, stator poles. Okay, and this is the rotor. Since we have taken the assumption that field lines are parallel or flux lines are parallel, so we draw these flux lines like this. It will be exiting the north pole and entering the south pole like this. Let us define two axes related to the rotating machine. The first one is called as field axis or direct axis or D-axis. This axis is parallel to the field lines. Another axis which is perpendicular to this field axis is called as neutral axis or Q-axis or quadrature axis. The term neutral is given to this axis because when the coil is at this particular place, at this particular axis, there will be no flux linking with the coil. Okay, that's why the name neutral is given to this axis. Okay, since it is at 90 degree with the field axis, that's why it is the name quadrature is given to this axis also. Okay, let's move on. Now, the important concept that we are going to discuss here is that how we can find the flux linking with the coil or flux linking with a particular cross-sectional area. Suppose this is the area through which we need to find the flux, and magnetic field lines are crossing this area like this. This is the magnetic field line. Okay. Now let us draw the area vector. So this is the area vector which is perpendicular to the area. This is perpendicular to the area. Now let us consider this magnetic field line is making an angle alpha with the area vector, and this area vector is perpendicular to the area. So the flux passing through this area can be written as B dot A. The flux is the dot product of magnetic flux density B and the area of cross section A. So we can write it like this, BA cos alpha, because we know the angle between B and A, which is alpha here. Now, in order to separate these two, we can write it like this, A into B cos alpha. Now, what is this B cos alpha? What is this B cos alpha? B cos alpha, we can write it as Bn, which we call it as a normal component of this flux density. Why we are calling it as a normal component? This normal component means the normal to the area or the component of this field which is perpendicular to the given area. Okay, so just keep in mind this normal component is the component of the magnetic field which is perpendicular to the given area. So if we are able to find this normal component Bn, we can easily find the flux linking with the coil. Okay, so our job is to find this normal component of the magnetic field. Okay, so let us find this component Bn for the given two-pole machine. Okay, so for that, let us consider area of cross section, this small area of cross section of the coil, and the area vector will be perpendicular to this area like this. It will be passing through the center of the rotor like this. Okay, now let us draw the magnetic field now. Magnetic field which we have taken as parallel, so it will be passing through this area in this manner. Okay, Now let us take a reference line and drop a line vertically from the center of the rotor like this, and this is the reference line. Why we are calling it as a reference line? Because we take all the angle, or we will measure the angle from this reference line only. Okay, so let us consider the area vector in this case making an angle theta with the reference line, and when this rotor will rotate in anti-clockwise direction, this theta will increase. Okay, so if the area, concerned area is here, so area vector will be like this. So the angle, this theta, the angle theta will be here in this case is 90 degrees. So this is called as rotation angle. We call it as a rotation angle. When the rotor rotates, this angle will increase. Okay, so this theta is the reference angle that we have taken here. We call it as a rotation angle also. Okay, now if we drop, or if we draw a parallel line from this point parallel to the reference line like this, so this angle will also be equal to theta. Now we have already taken the angle between the magnetic field and area vector as alpha, so this angle will be alpha. Now we can write the normal component of flux density wave, flux density here Bm. Normal component means the component of this magnetic flux density perpendicular to the area or parallel to the area vector. It will be Bm cos alpha. So we can write it Bn is Bm cos alpha. Now we can write this alpha in terms of theta. Since this angle is 90 degree, we can write this alpha as 90 minus theta. So if we replace this alpha with 90 minus theta, it will become Bm cos 90 minus theta. So cos 90 minus theta is sin theta. So we can write the normal component of magnetic field or magnetic flux density is Bm sin theta. So from here we can say that the normal component is not constant, it is sinusoidal. When this machine is rotating or when theta is varied, the magnetic flux density normal to the area will be sinusoidal, or the normal component of flux will be sinusoidal. It depends upon the rotation angle theta. So this flux density is called as flux density wave or B wave. So B wave is Bm sin theta in this case. What is B wave? It is the normal component of Bm. So B wave can be called as normal component of Bm. Normal component means the component of Bm or normal component of magnetic flux density perpendicular to the area of the cross section of the coil. Okay, so from here we get a very good concept that the normal component of flux density wave or normal component of flux density is sinusoidal. So just keep in mind that the flux density is normal component of flux density is sinusoidal. Okay, we have taken the flux lines as parallel, but the normal component of this flux density is coming out to be sinusoidal. Okay, now let's move on. Now let us draw the graph to understand how this flux density wave will look like with the rotation angle theta with respect to theta. Okay, so we will draw a graph B theta with respect to theta. As we increase the theta, or as machine rotates in anti-clockwise direction, we will see how the graph will look like. Okay, so let's start now. When this machine rotates in such a manner that the concerned area or the area of the coil which we have just considered is at an angle of 90 degree here, 90 degree. So in this case, you can see from here the field lines are perpendicular to the area. It means the magnetic flux density is maximum in this case. The normal component is Bm cos of alpha. And what is alpha? Alpha is the angle between the area vector and the magnetic field lines. Now if we consider this angle theta, so for considering angle theta, we take Bm sin theta. So we will verify these the value or the maximum value by these two formula, okay, by taking angle alpha as well as by taking angle theta. So from here, if we take theta angle, the theta will be 90 degree. So sin 90 will be 1. So Bn will be equal to Bm, which is maximum value. And if we take cos value, alpha will be 0 degree, because the alpha is the angle between the area vector, this is the area vector, and magnetic field. So this is 0 degree here. So cos 0 will be 1. So it will Bn will be equal to Bm in this case also. So from here you can say, when the rotor moves by an angle of 90 degree, the graph will be like this. It will start from 0 and it will reach up to the maximum value. Okay. So now let us rotate once again. If you rotate this rotor by angle of 90 degree more, so in this case theta will be equal to 180 degrees. When theta is 180 degree, so let us calculate the value of normal component Bn. It will be Bm sin 180 degree. So sin 180 degree is 0 degree. Sin 180 degree is 0. Now if we take cos value, so Bm cos of alpha. Alpha is the angle between flux or magnetic flux lines and the area vector. So here this is 90 degree. So it will be 90 degree. So cos 90 is 0. So you can see both the result are 0. So from here you can see the graph will be from maximum to 0 value. So it will be half cycle of the sinusoidal wave. One more thing to understand, that when the rotor is moving from 0 degree to 180 degree, the coil is under the influence of south pole. So we just show here that this graph is actually under the south pole, under the effect of south pole. Okay. Now let us move on and rotate this rotor once again by an angle of 90 degree. Now again, if you rotate the rotor by an angle of 90 degree, this theta is coming out to be 270 degrees. Again, let us calculate the value of Bn by both the formula, by sin as well as cos. So Bm sin of 270 degree. So sin 270 degree is minus 1. So it will be minus Bm, means negative maximum value. Now let us calculate the same thing with cos formula. So for cos, we will not use theta, we use alpha. So what is the value of alpha here in this case? Since the area vector is in this direction and the field is in opposite direction like this. This is the field B and this is the area vector. So the angle will be 180 degrees. So if you put the value 180 degree, cos 180 is minus 1, it is minus Bm. So both the results are same. So you can see from here, from 180 degrees to 270 degrees, it is again from 0 to maximum value, but in the negative direction. Okay. Now the last one, when we again rotate by the angle of 90 degree, so the angle here is now 360 degree, theta is 360 degree, sin 360 degree is 0 again. So in this case also, if we calculate Bn by sin, so sin 360 degree, it will be 0. And if we talk about cos, so alpha here is 90 degree, the black line, black arrow and the red arrow. So it will be 90 degree, cos 90 is 0 again. So the angle is, so the value is 0. So from here you can say in one rotation from 0 degree to 360 degree, this is the graph which we have just plotted. It is a sinusoidal graph. We know that flux is sinusoidal, B wave is sinusoidal. We call it as a sinusoidal wave. Okay. Now, from 180 degree to 360 degree, this coil is under the influence of north pole. So just we show it here that this portion is under the influence of north pole. So this B wave is sinusoidal, which we have just plotted. Okay. So the angle just we are writing here right now is the angle of rotation. This is pi by 2, pi, 3 pi by 2 and 2 pi. Okay. Pi by 2, 90 degree, 180 degree, 270 degree and 360 degrees. So this is the angle which we have taken here. This is the angle of rotation. Okay. Now let us move forward and understand the same concept related to the 4-pole machine. We can see that if we rotate this rotor in anti-clockwise direction, the graph will be like this. It will be sinusoidal, which we have just plotted. So continuously you can see after every revolution, the B wave is making one cycle. In one rotation, the one cycle of B wave is actually plotted. Okay. Now let us take the 4-pole machine now. So let me show this 4-pole machine now. This is how 4 poles are arranged. It will be arranged like this: S1, N1, S2, N2. And these two are quadrature axis. Okay. Now the reference line that we are going to take in this case is this line. Okay. So we will measure theta from this point or from this line only. Okay. So at this case the theta is 0 degree. Okay. Now let us draw the magnetic field lines now. So it will be starting from the north pole or it will be exiting the north pole and entering the south. So it will be like this, and we have taken the magnetic field lines as parallel lines. So it will be like this as shown. Okay. Now let us draw the B wave now, or let us draw the normal component of flux density, okay, which is called as B wave. So B theta with respect to theta, and theta here is rotational angle. Okay. Just keep in mind this theta is rotation angle. Okay. So in this case the theta is 0 right now. Now let us rotate the rotor by an angle of 45 degrees. So it will be coming in front of south pole S1. Now let us apply both the formula for calculating the flux. So in this case theta here is 45 degrees. So normal component of flux density Bn we will calculate from both the formula: Bm cos alpha and Bm sin theta. So if we take theta, it will be 45 degrees. If we take alpha, from here you can see the flux lines are like this. It will be going down vertically downwards, and the area vector is also vertically downwards. So the angle will be 0 degree. So it will be Bm cos of 0 degree. So from here you will be getting a value Bm, but from this value, from this formula, we are getting the value as Bm by root 2, because sin 45 degree is 1 by root 2. Now we are getting different results in this case. Now we will understand why the result is different. To understand this concept, let us first understand which is correct, either this is or this. So if we take this is correct, so we will modify it for this formula, okay, and if this is correct, we will modify this formula, okay, or we will understand why this Bm by root 2 is coming in this case. So we have just discussed in the previous case or previous slides that the flux crossing through an area is maximum when B is not at an angle alpha, but it will be in the direction of area vector. Means when the flux is in the direction of area vector, the flux linking with this area is maximum, because in this case we are taking the dot product. So the area vector and B is having an angle 0 degree. So the flux will be maximum, B into A. Okay. Cos 0 will be 1. So our answer Bm is correct. It means from 0 to maximum value, Bm or B theta will be from 0 to maximum value when we trace an angle of 45 degree rotation angle. So how can we understand this concept? It means the angle which we are taking here as 45 degree, it is not actually 45. It seems to be 45, but it has to be 90 degrees. That's what we are seeing here. If this angle is 90 degree, then it will be correct. So there has to be some modification. We will see how we can understand this concept. Okay. So actually this angle is not 45 degree, but this is twice of the angle which we have just traced. So theta in this case, which is rotation angle, is equal to 45 degrees, theta rotation. Okay. So theta rotation is 45 degree, But according to the formula or according to the graph, this angle must be equal to 90 degrees. It must not be 45 degree. It must be equal to 90 degrees. So that we can get Bm sin 90, which is equal to now Bm. So this angle which we are taking here, which is rotation angle, is actually not satisfying the result. Okay. This angle which we are taking here as rotation angle is called as mechanical angle. This angle is called as mechanical angle. And the angle which has to be here to satisfy this formula is called as electrical angle. So electrical angle here in this case is 90 degrees. The angle 45 degree here is not satisfying the result. The result is maximum value Bm, but by this angle 45 degree, the value is coming out to be Bm by root 2. We have the rotation angle as 45 degree, which we have just seen. The rotor is rotated by an angle of 45 degree. So if you put the value of theta here, it will be Bm by root 2. So it will not be equal to the actual result. But if we just modify this angle from 45 to 90 degree, means if we just make it twice, so the result will be fine. Result will be equal to Bm, which is the actual value. So the angle here in this case, which is 45 degree, is actual rotation angle, is called as mechanical angle. And the angle which has to be here to satisfy the formula is called as electrical angle. In this case, you can say electrical angle is twice of the mechanical angle. Electrical angle is equal to twice of mechanical angle. Let us rotate it again by an angle of 45 degree and let us see in that case also whether this formula, which is theta electrical we are taking here, is valid or not. Okay. So let us move on. Now if you rotate it again by an angle of 45 degrees, this rotation angle, which is called as now mechanical angle, we are now come to know that this is mechanical angle. This mechanical angle here in this case is 90 degrees. So from here, if we find out the theta electrical, it has to be twice. Okay. So if it is 90 degree, theta electrical must be equal to 180 degree. So let us see whether this angle is satisfying the result or not. We know that this angle will not satisfy the result, but let us see whether this angle is satisfying the result or not. So cos formula is correct. So let us apply first cos to see what is the actual result. Bm cos of alpha. So alpha is the angle between the magnetic field lines and the area vector. So area vector is this A, and you can see from here that the magnetic field lines is almost parallel to the area. So it is making an angle 90 degree with the area of cross section, area vector. So Bm cos of 90 degree, so it will be 0. So from here you can see, you can draw the graph from maximum value to the 0 value. Okay. So this is coming out to be 0. Now if we apply sine formula, Bm sine, we take the rotation angle here. So if we take the rotation angle as 90 degree, theta mechanical or theta rotational, it will be sine 90. Sine 90 is 1. So Bn will be Bm, which is maximum value, which is not the correct result. Now if we apply or if we put the value theta electrical, which is the twice of theta mechanical in this case. So theta electrical is 180 degree. If you put this value theta at 180 degree, theta electrical 180 degree. So the result is now verified, it is 0 degree. 0. So sine 180 is 0, so it is 0. So now you can see the result is verified now. So in this case, a very important point to understand that theta electrical is twice of theta mechanical. So now you can understand the difference of theta electrical and theta mechanical. Okay. So theta electrical is actually the angle traced by the graph to complete half cycle or full cycle, and theta mechanical is the rotation angle. So from here you can say for tracing a half cycle, we need the angle theta to be 180 degree for sine. For half cycle it has to be 180 degree. So this is actually theta electrical. For tracing half cycle, the angle will be 180 degree. But theta mechanical for tracing half cycle is 90 degree in this case. So from here we can say that theta electrical is twice of theta mechanical in this case. So let us, we will find out later on that this formula theta electrical is equal to twice of theta mechanical is not constant for all cases or is not same for all cases. Okay. In the previous case, for two pole machines, we have seen that the rotation angle is equal to electrical angle. Why? Because the machine is, when we draw the graph, we have seen it by applying both the formula, cos and sine, we are getting the same result. Okay, but in this case, since we are getting the different result, then we have introduced the concept of electrical and mechanical angle in this case. So for two pole machines, we can say theta electrical and theta mechanical are same. But for four pole machine, theta electrical and theta mechanical are different angles. Okay, now let us move forward and understand the concept more clearly by rotating the machine by 45 degree again. So now we can say this particular region is under the influence of south pole S1. Now again, if we rotate the rotor by an angle of 45 degree, the same thing is happening. Here now the angle is 90 plus 45, that is 135 degrees. This is theta mechanical. So what will be theta electrical now? 135 multiplied by 2. So it will be 270 degrees. Okay. So sine 270 degree again is minus 1. So BM is minus BM. For cos, if we can say, it is magnetic field lines are going like this. Okay. And the area vector is like this. So the angle here is, alpha angle is 180 degree. So cos alpha, cos 180 degree is minus 1. So now here we can say both results are coinciding now. Both results are verified now. For applying sine formula, we take angle as 270 degree. And for applying cos formula, we take the angle as 180 degree. So we arrive at the same result, which is equal to minus BM. Okay. So in all the cases, we can see that theta electrical is equal to twice of theta mechanical. So let us move forward fast and rotate the rotor by an angle of 360 degree one by one. Okay. Step by step. 45 degree again. This is under the influence of north pole N1. Again 45 degrees, it will be maximum value. Now here it will be 0, and now under the south pole S2 and then N2, and now. So from here you can see the rotation angle is 360 degrees. But you can see only by rotating once, we traces 2 cycle of the B wave. It means theta electrical that we have traces here, it will be 4 pi because we have 2 cycle. For 1 cycle, theta electrical is 2 pi, and for 4 cycles, for 1 cycle, theta electrical is 2 pi. So for 2 cycles, theta electrical must be equal to 4 pi. But theta mechanical here in this case is 2 pi only. So we can clearly observe here that theta electrical is twice of theta mechanical. Okay. So let us now show the angles pi by 2 pi, 3 pi by 2, 2 pi, 3 pi and 4 pi. So these angles which you have just shown here, 3 pi, 2 pi and 4 pi is actually theta electrical angle. Okay. Now let us generalize this concept. So if we draw the graph for a 6 pole machine, you will be noticing that theta electrical will be equal to thrice of theta mechanical. In the similar manner, if we draw the same graph for 8 pole machine, theta electrical will be equal to 4 times of theta mechanical. So if the pole is 2, theta electrical is equal to theta mechanical for 2 pole. For 4 pole, theta electrical is equal to twice of theta mechanical, which we have just seen. For 6 pole, it will be 3 times of theta mechanical. And for 8 poles, that is 4 times of theta mechanical, and so on. So let us derive the relationship now here from this case, from this equation or from this concept. If there is a 2 pole machine, theta electrical is theta m. Okay, fine. Now for 4 pole machine, it is twice. So you can say P by 2 here, 4 by 2, 6 by 2 is 3, 8 by 2 is 4. So for a P pole machine, theta electrical is P by 2 theta mechanical. So whatever pole of machines here, you can put the value and you can get the relationship between theta electrical and theta mechanical. So theta electrical is equal to P by 2 theta mechanical. So P is the number of poles of the machine. We have verified this. We can verify this result by for 2 pole and 4 pole. We have already verified it for 2 pole and 4 pole machines. You can verify for 6 pole and 8 pole machines also. Okay, for 8 pole machine, for one rotation, you will be getting 4 cycles. Okay, you will be getting 4 cycles. So one cycle theta electrical is 2 pi. For 2 cycle, theta electrical is 4 pi. So for 4 cycles, theta electrical is 8 pi. And for one rotation, the theta mechanical is 2 pi. So one rotation, we are getting 4 cycles. It means theta electrical is equal to 4 times of theta mechanical. Okay. So this is a very important concept. So now we have just understood the concept of theta electrical and theta mechanical angle. And now we have developed the relationship between theta electrical and theta mechanical angle. Okay. Now let us discuss a few more concepts related to rotating machines. A very few concepts. The first one is pole pitch and the second one is pole arc. So let us understand what is the meaning of pole pitch. Pole pitch is the angular distance between two consecutive poles, or we can define as the region in the supervision of one pole. The angular region in the supervision of one pole. So how this pole pitch you can calculate? So let us take an example of 2 pole machine, and this is the Q axis. So the angle or pole pitch in this case is this angle, which is equal to 180 degree. So it will be 180 degree. Now, in order to understand it very clearly, if we have 4 pole machines, so for a 4 pole machine, you might not be able to understand through the figure that pole pitch is 180 degrees. It seems to be 90 degrees. The angular distance between two consecutive poles seems to be 90 degrees. But again, that angle is mechanical angle and that angle is electrical angle, mechanical angle or rotation angle. So if you need to find, if you are seeing that it is 90 degree in case of 4 pole machine, so it has to be mechanical angle. For electrical angle, it is twice of theta mechanical in case of 4 pole machine. So if theta mechanical is 90 degree, theta electrical is to be 180 degree. So it is constant for all type of machines. Pole pitch is constant, which is equal to 180 degree electrical or pi electrical. Now what is pole arc? It is the angular distance or angular span covered by pole shoe or pole face. So this is the pole shoe or pole face. So angular span covered by the pole shoe is this. So this is called as pole arc. Okay. For all the machines, pole arc is generally less than or equal to pole pitch for all types of machine. Okay. So this is all. We have understood the concept of electrical and mechanical angle, and we have defined the pole pitch and pole arc. So this is all for this video. If you like my work, subscribe to my channel and don't forget to share to others. Thanks for watching my videos.